Who were the first blues musicians, or rhythm and blues musicians, that you actually met?
I met Sonny Boy Williamson, the very famous Sonny Boy Williamson, who traveled through England in the early 60s. He traveled through Scandinavia and England with two German promoters, promoted a kind of blues train that visited quite big venues at the time. I would say they were pretty big, with a whole host of these romantic figures who drifted through my early teenage years. I was just dumbfounded at this beautiful, poignant music. And it was very seldom a band performance. It was more often than not one guy with a guitar, or maybe bass and drums behind, but you could absorb everything. It certainly wasn't the electric mayhem that came later.
As you know.
Yeah. But I mean, with Howlin' Wolf,
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're right,
with
yeah,
Eric
okay.
Clapton and
Yeah.
Steve Winwood and stuff like that. And, I mean, it must have been fantastic for the guys to play with the Wolf, because he was one of the most startling performers I ever saw. But nevertheless, it did get a bit too rock and roll. And within itself, the blues idiom at that time was still being performed by the same guys who personalized it in the first place. There was Sleepy John Estes, Bucka White, Son House. There were some people who were main movers whose effect and cause and effect has brought me to this studio today.
So when you started recording, what was your idea of the kind of band you would eventually be in, the kind of singer you would become?
Well, when I started recording initially, going back to 66, I just wanted to create some kind of effect of black music, some kind of projection of black music. Well, I wouldn't say I wasn't. I would say that the contemporary black music of the time, the popular music that was coming over to Britain, was not blues, and it was a very accessible Motown sound, and some of the Chess recordings were pretty beautiful and accessible and stuff. But I was going for something else. I was trying to get into another area which was much more dramatic. And at the same time as I was trying to project the blues, I was also incredibly aware of the effect of West Coast music. The San Francisco bands, the LA bands were leaving a small mark on the British musicians, and to combine the two to create a piece of music that sounded half Jefferson Airplane and half Howlin' Wolf was the kind of area that I was hoping to go in with the Band of Joy.
Well, one of the things Led Zeppelin did was create a really white version of a music that was based in part on African American blues.
That's right, yeah, and with varying degrees of success. I mean, I think that on Led Zeppelin 1 there was some fantastic. There was "I Can't Quit You, Babe," which was written by Willie Dixon, originally performed by Otis Rush, was a great experiment. It allowed the band to perform and for the personality of the band to come through, and at the same time it did justice to the original recording.
This is Fresh Air. I'm Terry Gross, back with Robert Plant. From 1968 to 1980, he was the lead singer of Led Zeppelin, one of the most influential bands in the history of hard rock and heavy metal. Now he has a new CD collecting recordings he made before and after Zeppelin. It's called 66 to Timbuktu. When we left off, we were talking about how blues musicians influenced the band. This is Led Zeppelin's recording Whole Lotta Love, which is based on a Willie Dixon song. Zeppelin. My guest is singer Robert Plant. Anything you want to say about your singing on that track?
Well, I just, as a very expressive time. I must say that I always would have liked to have thought that I could create a vocal syncopation and punctuation in as many different ways as possible. I mean, my voice is what it is. It's different now to how it was then, but it was punchy and it was joyous. And I guess, my confidence was building by that time. I was 20 years old and I was really trying out all manner of different things. The effects of my childhood and my background, listening to Presley, listening to The Wolf, I tried to put them all into the songs that called for some kind of sexual innuendo or whatever it would be. It was partly blues, partly rock and roll, and it worked.
I've been working from 7 to 11 every night. I say that kind of makes a lot for drag.